Okay, beautiful people. I'm so excited to be able to introduce my new course. It's a new course to transform the health. It's called Changing Dogs' Lives Forever. And that's basically transforming pets' health with a totally holistic, and I say holistic, not in the whole natural therapy type language, but in the whole WHOLISTICK way, because it's actually dealing with their body on a totally natural basis, and transforming them from if they're not very sick, then but intuitively that they could be weller, then we can go from where they are to absolutely optimal health. And it's easy, it's totally easy. That's the main thing. You need to know what you need to know, but it's totally easy. So I've made a few notes so that I remember everything. I'm going to briefly go through my own story briefly, and then I'll run through the elements of the course and what it will take you through, and then I'll go on to the support materials, and then I'll wind it up. But it's just an opportunity for you to get a feel for me and see whether or not you'd actually enjoy working with me. So that's really the whole point of it. So if you've got any animals, cats or dogs, my experience in the recent years has been 3 cats and 2 dogs. I'm down to no cats and just the 2 dogs now, because my last cat, he died in July, completely naturally at home, didn't need the vet at all. It was a beautiful, peaceful, loving goodbye from both of us. And he was just coming up for 18, he was just my start, and I miss him every day. But anyway, I've still got my beautiful 2 dogs. They're 11, just coming up for 11, and we have not needed to see a vet. We saw one in 2019 briefly, but if we go back properly, it was actually 6 years ago that we actually were in and out of vets on a almost permanent basis. I used to get Christmas cards from the vets. I just assumed everybody got a Christmas card, but once I changed their diet and got their whole health on a different platform, I haven't received a vet Christmas card since. So I guessed that I was obviously spending plenty of money with them for them to send me a Christmas card. Anyway, so we went from seeing vets almost every week, and the light bulb kind of went on when we'd spent 4 years of the dogs' lives and obviously many years of the cats' lives in and out of the vets, and they definitely weren't optimally healthy. None of them were, with all the medicines and things that they gave me. They never seemed to actually get better health, from a wholly health basis. They just seemed to get through that stage of not being so well, and then a few months later they'd be bad again. So it didn't make sense. That then made me look into the more holistic, more natural therapies. So I went down the whole supplement and herbs and magic potions and anything, and I must have been spending as much, if not more, on that department, as well as spending as much as I possibly could on their food, because I actually thought that the food was probably important, so I'd buy the best, and it must be the best quality meats or whatever was in the ingredients. And we've been through everything. We've done kibbles, we've done tin food, we've done packet food, we've done natural food, we've done dehydrated food. We ended up on frozen packet foods mainly. The dogs used to find the odd dead animal when we were out walking. So I thought that was about as good as it could possibly get, but they were not well. They were not well. And their coats didn't shine like I knew they could shine, and their coats were actually, they were just losing condition, and they were 4 years old, and like I say, we were permanently in and out of the vet, so none of it made sense to me. The holistic route didn't get any better. It didn't get any cheaper either. We saw holistic vets and homeopathic vets, and I've searched out and found the most expensive ones or the most well known, and that didn't help either. We still ended up at 4 going on 5. Sky was waking me up every night, kicking her tummy. She was having tummy aches, and I went down the whole testing route with the vets. Her test came back clear, and they had I said, well, what do I do? She's like, she was still 4 at that time. She's 4 years old. What am I supposed to do? Because waking up in the middle of the night with a 4-year-old dog kicking her tummy is not right. And they said, well, try changing her food. And I said, well, what food do you suggest? And they said Chappy. I'd heard of Chappy because my mum used to feed our dogs Chappy back in the day. So I was totally open-minded. So I went into the supermarkets, found a tin of Chappy and looked at the ingredients on the back and saw rice and I can't remember what other weird ingredients. And I just thought, no way, that's not what a dog should be eating. So I put the tin back on the shelf. And then just came home and carried on doing, I guess, what I was doing, but with an open mind and searching for answers, because I knew it wasn't right. And Joey, her brother, wasn't doing any better. His symptoms and things were manifesting in different ways, but his behaviour was awful. I wonder where I should start with their illnesses. Obviously, Sky was always tummy. She often used to be limpy legs. Her coat wasn't good. Joey was worse still. He always had poorly ears. I think I took them in for what I thought was seeds in ears. He definitely went in at least 2 years, and again, he was only 4. He had at least 2 teeth cleanings, and he was only 4 in that time. And he used to scoot, he used to reverse sneeze. His fur went from Springer Spaniels, by the way, they're English Springer Spaniels. I will definitely promise you a doggy video, as I've got you onto this, promising you a doggy video. So he had bad ears, his teeth were always filthy, dirty, gross, grotty, smelly breath. His coat, both of their coats wasn't liver. English Springer Spaniel with a liver and white colour should be the colour of liver, which is pretty dark brown, and theirs had gone like a tan colour, and Joey's fur was particularly wiry. It had gone like from flat smooth, like a Spaniel's coat should be, to wiry and frizzy. Anyway, I knew it wasn't right. so I'm trying to think of any of the other things, but they had loads of things wrong. Anal gland problems. Sky was always suffering with anal gland problems as well. So we've been there, done it. So if you're anywhere near that sort of place, you're in the right place, because I have got all the answers to this. Okay, so we briefly touched on our story. So just around 6 years ago, it's probably 6.5 now actually, if they were 4 and they're now coming up for 11. We came across a lady who was promoting natural hygiene for dogs. Now, natural hygiene is a human. People follow this natural hygiene in humans, and it's eating mainly fruits and salads and natural raw foods predominantly, nuts and seeds as well. But she had actually used this. She'd used this theory for her own pets, and she was experimenting with fruits, with rotating. I'm not going to go into it here. Anyway, she had got a diet that she was experimenting with her pets and a few friends and families, and she was having immense success with. So she shared that with me, and she'd also had some experience of fasting pets as well. So the first thing she said to me was, this is where you start. And she suggested a 48-hour fast for my dogs to get them, get them, to give their bodies a break from permanently digesting food. I was feeding them twice a day, every day, and almost having to beg Joey to eat because he wouldn't eat what I thought he should be eating. and be as fat, I guess. I think he was always like quite a naturally slim dog, so I was always thinking he looked a bit too thin. So I think I was always permanently trying to get more food into him. Anyway, yeah, so she suggested a 48-hour fast. Oh my God, I can't tell you, from an emotional point of view, I had tried fasting myself at that point, and I had failed dismally. I used to get to about lunchtime and without having to eat something, and I would fail. I would just give in and cave and eat. So I can't tell you how hard that was on an emotional level for me to actually fast them. And for 48 hours, that's like 2 whole days and nights, I thought it was going to be hell. Anyway, long story short, we did that. I got through. I literally, after 24 hours, I was counting the hours down, and it was me who was struggling because the dogs literally didn't, apart from the fact of coming home from a walk where I would normally feed them after their morning walk and again after their evening walk, I changed my routine, and we would sit on the sofa and have a cuddle until they'd got the whole get back from a walk and have food thing going on. So we literally we got back from our walks, we'd sit down, we'd have a cuddle, and then they'd fall asleep like they would after a walk, and I'd get on with my usual things. And they didn't act any different, and they weren't tired. We went out on their walks as we always did. They didn't seem to need rest. Bear in mind they were 4 years old, and they took the whole fasting thing. They did eat grass. I did notice that they did eat grass. So when we were out on walks, and so yeah, that's what they seemed to do. So their tummies maybe were gurgling, I don't know. But anyway, other than that, they did eat more grass than they would normally do, and but other than that, they just slept, they went on their walks, and they didn't care. So, and I managed to make it to the 48 hours with a little bit of help of my friend Nora, who was helping me along the way. And yeah, she got me through it, not the dogs. But anyway, from there on, Sky never, ever suffered with that tummy ache ever again. And oh my God, can I tell you what a relief that was for me, because it had been going on for months, probably the best half 6 months by the time I actually found this fasting idea. But she never woke me up again. And anyway, and so Sky went, so that my next question was, what do I do? And she recommended that I feed them alternate days. So i.e. they would eat today, and then they'd have fasting day from their meal so they wouldn't eat tomorrow, and then I'd feed them at tea time again on the day after tomorrow. So effectively they were going to get a 48-hour fast, and then have another whole meal. And anyway, long story short, so we played around with some feeding ideas that she gave me, and then I've tweaked them, and like I say, and I've played around with so many different options, which I will share with you on this course, and then we can do the same with your dogs, because I'm pretty certain, based on my experience and talking to people and sharing these ideas with other people and them experimenting, there is not one size that fits all, as with us humans too. But there is a basis of learning, and then you can act. And once you've got that confidence, and once you understand how the bodies work, then there is a basis that you can confidently experiment with your own dogs. And when I say experiment, I don't mean experiment in a dangerous way, but you just test it, and you get, you know that it works, and their health shows you. And just one last thing before I finish my story and move on to explain to you how the course is going to work, is Sky never suffered with those tummy problems ever again, and her health and her coat and everything. She'd been a little bit overweight from memory as well, up until that point. She was neutered very young because I had brother and sister together, which I wouldn't do now. But anyway, she was neutered very young. And I think certainly from about 2 years old, if not before then, she was slowly putting on a lot of weight. So she lost weight, her coat changed, everything about her, even the groomer, when she next came, commented about the change in Sky, and I'd actually caved on Joey because I'd actually thought he'd lost a bit too much weight, so I'd actually gone backwards with Joey, and wasn't implementing the what I'd learned with him. And I'd done that for about 3 months, and then, like I say, Sky and Joey were standing next to each other, and Sky was just exuding health, and Joey was like going backwards like we were before. So it was a lesson to me, because I obviously then had to kick myself in the butt and not worry about what he actually looked like, because again, it's a bit like starting with a house renovation. You sometimes have to go backwards, take the old structure down, to rebuild the new structure, and I think I was just a bit being too mummy-ish with Joey, and not prepared to let him go through the process that he had to go through to get the health back. Anyway, so I've learned all that. I've made all the mistakes, so you don't have to. So I'm going to now just I'm just going to look over here. I'm going to get my tablet, and I'm going to talk you through what I'm going to do on this course for you. So the Changing Dogs' Lives Forever course is a proven step-by-step process for pet lovers to master the art of optimally feeding their pets for a lifetime of vitality and wellness without anxiety, overwhelm, or vet bills. Giving you the knowledge, the confidence, the freedom and power to be in complete control of the quality of life you have with your dog. All these steps make up an essential holistic roadmap that will affect both you and your dog on all levels. You will be growing, you will learn this new knowledge, and it will transform you onto new levels of understanding health, growing as a person. Just to make these changes, you do change with your dogs. So you will be changing physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So you gain the confidence and the knowledge that will catapult you and your dog into and I'm saying dog, that's dogs and cats. I can do it with cats, so I've put dogs in here, into a life full of joy and happiness, and away from any disease and any struggles that you have with that. I've definitely heard people speaking that, their main worries are their beautiful, beautiful pets. They're like our babies. And like you say, we worry on a daily basis, as we would with children, for their well-being, and that we're doing the best that we can with them. And I can promise you that once I've literally within 6 months of me, 6 months, it's probably not even that long, but 6 months of me changing over this diet, I have never had to worry about their health ever again. It just doesn't come into my thought, because if either of them show anything, I know I have to make a tweak. And like I say, as they age, they might not run around quite as much as they used to. They do run around, but things change, obviously, and we make tweaks to the diet, but we know how to make those tweaks, and we know the signs, or you will know the signs to look out for, where you do need to start making tweaks, and I will show you all of that during the course of this course. I originally planned it to be 90 days, but I'm actually doing 9 steps. There's 9 steps, so my plan is actually to do it with 9 weeks. I'm going to go with 9 weeks. If it needs any longer, or you need any longer to adjust and learn and implement everything that you learn, I will handhold you for up to 90 days, so that you can have that extra support if you need it. But I'm pretty confident that you'll be confident by the time we get to the end of the last step. So step 1, pet food challenge. That's what I've called this one. You will learn what ingredients go into kibble, tin food, dehydrated food, raw food, and treats, so that you have a clear roadmap of what you can feed for optimal health for your pets. We will uncover what causes disease in your pets and put the steps in place to ensure you can confidently make the right choices for your pets without vets, without nutritional experts, based on my proven formulas with real pets, cats and dogs, living into old age with vibrant health. and no vets. Step 2, that's our mental fitness game. So that is actually where you will get crystal clear on the mindset that you need to achieve long-term success in every area of your life. So it's not just obviously moving your pets through this transition in their life to a different lifestyle, but it's actually something that will uphold you for the rest of your life. You will learn what holds most people back from achieving optimal health for their pets. We will identify your barriers and give you the tools to break through those limits so you can not only achieve optimal health for your pets right now, but you can also achieve success in your relationships, your career, your finances, and your own health. For obviously you, your family, and anybody that you touch. You will take that with you. We move on to step 3, that's called No More Vet Bills. This step helps you to identify and learn how disease is caused in your dog's body. Once we find the root cause, we can learn to stop creating the problems right from the start, so they don't even get started. And if they are experiencing problems, the body will naturally reverse those conditions once we put the right conditions in place, and I'll show you how. And start to build a lifetime of health for you and your dog or cat. You will learn to understand the terrain model of disease and how using this method will change your concept of disease from a death sentence to symptoms that signpost you to make changes to optimize your dog's health. We'll go into all of that. So you go from disease and what we would call a death sentence to actually viewing the symptoms, that if your dog starts to scratch, if your dog starts to smell, if your dog starts to scoot, if your dog is sick, if your dog has diarrhea, if your dog has seizures, if your dog has anything, we use them as a sign that we need to make a change. And I will give you the tools to recognize those symptoms and how to put the right steps in place to reverse those, to allow the body to reverse those and for them to return back to the health that they are rightfully due. Signposts to optimize your dog's health. No more expensive visits to the vet will be needed. You will learn the art of watching your dog's body for signs and symptoms, and we will show you what they all mean and how to correct them without overwhelm for you or any doubts. You will literally be 100% confident. You won't have to have any doubts of what they're showing you. A compass that you can 100% rely on. Step 4, we move on to your dog is a wolf, natural diet plan. We are going to investigate your dog's physiology in this section and learn what the ideal species-specific diet for your pet really is, and then we can find and provide the optimal food. We uncover the various diets for the different species, including carnivores, herbivores, and frugivores, paying particular attention to how wildlife instinctively know what they are meant to eat, and they do not divert from their natural diets, and therefore we do not see overweight or diseased animals when they are in their natural surroundings and have access to their correct foods. We will use this information that we learn to create the optimal diet for your dog, so you can learn to feed the perfect foods for lifelong vibrant wellness and enjoy many years together, forever, we hope, with worry-free, uncompromisable health. So you will have all the rest of the years, and you'll have many more, because I promise you, we will get them back to optimal health, which means they will have the optimum lifespan, and you'll get to enjoy them. You won't have to struggle with them into old age. They're 11 and they're running around better than they were when they were puppies. Their coats are glowing, their coats have returned to their proper liver and white colour, and they are thriving. Sometimes I wish that and I won't say that too loud, but sometimes I do. I wish that they weren't chasing across the fields in the way that they are. Half thought that they'd just be wandering by my side by this age, but no way, they're not. Anyway, step 5, find your power with optimal feeding routines. This step is the true power to this whole feeding system. You're going to learn a crystal clear pathway to optimize the timing that you feed your dog for optimal health. And when I say that, it's the timing. So it's how often to feed and getting the timing right. So we're going to work that out. It's all individual. It will work with your lifestyle. And we will get that because that's important as well. You're going to learn a crystal clear pathway to optimize the timing that you feed your dog and cat for optimal health, optimal digestion, optimal energy, and an optimal lifespan without overwhelm your end or any confusion. There truly is a way to time feeding your pet that will make a real difference to their quality of life. We're going to teach you in this section how to know when that perfect timing is and how to confidently play around with feeding times to truly benefit you and your dog. We will also dive into emotional feeding and how to recognise emotional feeding and how to become the master over your emotions so you can focus on doing what is best for your pet's well-being from a pragmatic, clear-minded, well-informed, dog lover perspective, finding your true power. Step 6 is your dog is your mirror. This is an interesting step. This step will bond you like you've never been bonded before with your pet. You're going to learn to read the powerful messages and lessons that your pets are here to teach you with absolute clarity. Your pet has chosen you for a specific reason. On an energetic level, you are both drawn together because your energies synchronize. Your pet is able to read you like no other living being. You're going to learn how to read those energies and understand the messages that your pet will always be mirroring to you. Understanding the messages that your pet is sharing with you will improve and strengthen your life on all levels, including physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. This will lead to huge shifts in your life, including your dog's health, together with your home life, finances, relationships, and career. Step 7, ultimate energy diet. This step, we will learn to create the perfect meal plan for phenomenal health results for your pets. This is the step you have been waiting for. You will get clear on what to feed your pets, how to source the food at the best prices, how to buy the best quality foods, and in portion sizes that you can feed your pets without any need for preparation. We will discuss all the food options, how to prepare your dog for a smooth transition to a new diet without any tummy upsets or discomfort. You will confidently know how much to feed, how to bulk buy and freeze, so you always have a constant supply of food available for your dog or cat, saving you fortunes on pet food every week, together with a healthy, vibrant dog or cat that you will never ever need to worry about ever again, because they will literally exude health and well-being from head to toe every day without ever needing to see a vet. 8. Step 8, perfect transition system. This step will show you a perfect clear pathway to confidently reverse disease and regenerate your dog without any side effects. We will start by exploring the world of detox symptoms that dogs can experience, and we will celebrate any signs of healing as they come along on the journey back to vibrant health and vitality, no matter how old or diseased your dog or cat may be at this particular point in their life. You have got the answers. We will learn and implement the steps to a smooth transition so both you and your pets can enjoy the process back to health with ease and smoothly. You will learn the benefits of adding fasting days to your weekly protocol and how to strategically use fasting to dramatically speed up the healing process. There is a secret art to fasting, and you will leave with the confidence and skills to utilise fasting if you want to for a excuse me, for a lifetime of optimal health for your pets. If you want to gain one skill from this course that can completely transform your pet's health, this is it. It's the fasting. You don't have to do it. Take it from me. And if you're not comfortable with it, then we won't push it. But I promise you, this is a magic tool. Strategically fasting your pet is the magic key to unlock the door for lifelong optimal health. So we can talk more on that once you get into the plan, but I'm just saying again here, you do not have to use fasting. Fasting speeds the process up, but if you're not comfortable, even after we've covered the whole mental mindset, then you do not have to do that part. The last step, which is called the perfect menu plan, this step will show you how to confidently choose from a variety of foods to feed your pets for optimal comfort, especially in hot or cold weather. We will dive into foods for optimal weight loss and weight gain. This is the art of using the correct foods for optimal health on another level, giving you the tools to tailor your dog's feeding routine to achieve optimal lifestyle balance and convenience for you and your pets. We will explore the skills needed to travel with your pets without hours of preparing and storing meals for the trip. And this section, we will also include details of any supplements, herbs, special shampoos, creams, lotions, flea, tick or worm treatments. There aren't any, but we will cover all of those subjects so that you are confident that you will not ever need any of those ever again. You will leave with the knowledge, skills and confidence to manage your pet's ongoing health, whatever the circumstances, without ever needing to consult a vet. So that's the end of me explaining to you how the course is going to run. I've said about never ever needing a vet. There are times where you do need a vet, and I needed a vet. It took me a long time to actually accept it. Back in 2019, Sky was limping, and she'd been limping on and off for nearly a couple of months. And I was confident that, you know, on the diet and the fasting and everything, she would heal naturally. And eventually Joey ended up cutting his paw, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to book Sky in as well. And it ended up that he had actually got his foot caught in some sort of trap or something, so he ended up having to have a minor operation to get that sorted. And then Sky, it ended up her limping leg was a completely ruptured cruciate ligament, and so she had to have that fixed. There are schools of thought that actually say that cruciate ligaments, given long enough, and fasting long enough and putting the right feeding protocols in place, that you can actually get them to heal. But you know what? It was about her quality of life and mine, because I was having to do, mollycoddle around trying to work with a dog with a limpy leg, and she just wanted to be out running with Joey. So I had her in for that surgery, which people have made it sound like it was a big deal. And literally within 24 hours of bringing her home, she was back and using that leg. So we can discuss things like that on the course so that you're confident of what decisions you need to make at the time. But vets do come in really handy if there's ever an accident. And Sky had chased a deer. We'd moved to a place, we'd never lived anywhere near deers, so they'd never been that interested. Like the odd one here and there, but this place, there was literally hundreds in our back garden, and Joey and I hadn't realised either that the dogs would actually want to chase them. So before I knew it, within the first couple of weeks of living there, the two of them had chased these deers for miles and miles and miles, and were both with limping legs. So I had Joey on a permanent lead while I lived there in the end, and Joey and Sky obviously ended up having to have this operation. Okay, so that's the times you do need a vet, and they are very obviously they've got all the technology, and there are times, but for the rest of the stuff, for everything else, I promise you we will cover it in the course, and you will also know how to deal with vets, because you will be coming from a very different mental mindset and the control of your own pet to most of the vet's clients who literally rely on them to tell them what's wrong with their pet. You will know what's wrong with your pet if you ever need to take them to the vet, I promise you. Anyway, that's that. So we've covered the course. So I'm just going to say, so that's the total course. You'll have me walking hand in hand with you. You'll have 24/7 support with me on a messaging basis. We'll have weekly group calls so that everybody can ask me questions and everybody can learn from any of the struggles that everybody's going through, and yeah, you can support each other, and we can celebrate the breakthroughs, and we can celebrate, share lots of photos, and it's just going to be an awesome community of watching us change our pets' health. It just doesn't get better than that. But this is the first time that there's ever been anything like this available. There's books you can buy, and I can tell you where to get those books. And and there's people that you can actually have for a day or a couple of days and pay them like $150, $200 for, however long they spend with you. But there's never been a quality course like this. And it's ridiculously cheap because this is the first time I'm doing this. So get on this course now, because I promise you, it will never be at this price again, because there is so much value going into this course. You will never need a vet again. I was paying thousands a year in vet bills. You will never need that. So the price you're paying for this is a bargain. And I know that, and you probably know that, or you will do by the end of the time. You will never need it. And like I say, nobody's ever done this. In this container, with this support, with someone who's done it. I literally was the first student, real student. She's now got something like 20,000 students on her Facebook group, but I literally had to fathom about, worry. Sometimes I'd be brave enough to disturb her and ask her if she would, be able to help me with this particular concern. But those first 90 days, which I would say are the hardest, she was there on an email, but nothing like you're going to experience. So there you go. So this has never been offered with this sort of quality. You're going to have a group of like-minded people with their pets going through the same things. You're going to have me 24/7, so that if there's anything that comes up and it worries you, or you want to just, ask me something before you do it, that I'm there, and I will be at the end of a messenger or phone call, or however you want to go forward. And then, like I say, I'll be in and out of the group as well, answering any of your questions if you're not already answering them between you. Okay, so that's that. There's workbooks, and there's other materials as well for any specific problems like anal gland problems, itching, ear problems, seizures, any of those type of things. I've got extra information available for you as extra materials. So that's it. I'm going to try and finish this now because you've sat here long enough listening to me. Just get on board. You are doing it for your pets. And yourself. I know how much worry. I know I never was convinced that they were in good health. If you've sat through this, I'm assuming you've got a pet, but if you know anybody else as well that struggles with their pet, that would be open-minded enough. It takes open-minded to actually, go against the norm. Which is like just go to the vet for answers. They do a few hours of nutritional study on their qualifying courses when they're students. So it's not that they intentionally would lead you astray. One, I don't think they're trained and they're trained and educated by the people that fund all the either the drugs or the food companies. They're probably all owned by the same people, but so they have a vested interest. Like I say, we don't want to believe it and we don't want to accept it. I didn't. I loved my vet, literally loved it and loved him, and so I didn't want to believe it, but it's their business. They have a vested interest in our pets being sick, and so I don't know whether they'd be open-minded enough to listen to this information. They haven't been intentionally leading you astray, but I just think they don't know any different, and they probably weren't as. I just knew there was another way. So if you sign up now, because you've got to, because it's the best decision you can make for you and your pets. If you've got more than one pet, it's even more value. And if you know friends, family, it would be an amazing Christmas present or gift for somebody. So just do it. And I look forward to seeing you on the other side. All right, we'll get your pets healthier than you can ever know. See you soon. Bye.